A Highland family that moved to the U.S. has been living in a hotel ever since filthy, surging floodwaters destroyed their home. The Mackeys left Inverness 9 years ago and have a house in Brazoria, south of Houston, Texas. But they have been staying in a hotel for about 3 weeks due to the havoc wreaked by Hurricane Harvey. Colin Mackey, who has a wife, a teenage son and 2 dogs, said nearly all of their possessions had been lost. "A lot of our belongings are out on the driveway," said Mr. Mackey, who works for an oil and gas recruitment consultancy. "That's everything from fridges, cookers, dishwashers, washer dryers, mattresses, sofas, TV stands, beds and kitchen cabinets. Across the road from me, my neighbor is in exactly the same situation. Down the road, my next neighbor is the same. From where I'm standing I can see 4 houses. Carpets are piled up, there's plasterboard everywhere. But people's houses are still standing, it's just the contents that have been taken out. Flood-damaged household goods stacked along the side of the road in Brazoria." Brazoria was not in the direct path of Harvey, but it would not escape the aftermath of the deluge. Residents were well warned about the potential for serious flooding. However, Mr. Mackey took his wife and son Cindy and Ben to a hotel in another nearby town, where they would be safe. He then returned to his house and hunkered down before the high waters arrived. "When the water arrived it happened quickly," said Mr. Mackey, vice president for the Americas region at JAB Recruitment. "I was in the house when it came in. I was there for hours pumping water out, but when the river decides it's coming into your house, it's coming in. You can't do anything about it. I fought it for half a day, then gave up and left for the hotel. When he returned in the morning, he was greeted by 18-inch deep, nasty water." Mr. Mackey said his family would probably stay in the hotel until the end of the month before seeking temporary accommodation. He thinks it will take about 3 months to repair his shell of a house, which is insured against flood damage. "In the meantime, life goes on," Mr. Mackey said. Like most people, he took some time off work before the hurricane's arrival so that he could get organized. But since the storm moved on, barely a day has gone by when Mr. Mackey and his wife, who is a cost engineer, weren't working. "We have to get on and live our lives," he said. "We can still enjoy ourselves, we've got things to do. We have to earn a living. My son has got to go to school. I don't want to make light of things, but this has been more of an inconvenience. None of us were harmed or injured. Nothing was lost that can't be replaced. It's just material possessions. We can rebuild the house. It's just going to take time." For all of their troubles, the Mackeys remain positive. "As a family, we're not negative people," Mr. Mackey said. "It's my job to keep my wife and son as positive as possible. If I get negative it impacts them. I can't let that happen." Soaked plasterboard coming off the walls. Mr. Mackey said he was heartened by the local community's response to the flood. "There are things I've seen during this event that were amazing," said Mr. Mackey, who is also a volunteer firefighter. "The way people have helped each other, the volunteers who don't ask for any thanks, it has been amazing. We've had numerous volunteers from the community we live in, and friends from Houston helping at the house. It makes the process go more quickly and leads me to be positive." Asked whether he would consider leaving Texas, Mr. Mackey said, "No, I wouldn't. We moved here for work and ended up enjoying our time. I have no intention of letting this set us back and moving back to the UK. I'm not looking for sympathy. A lot of people are way worse off than us. We can put everything back together." Ex-couple were trying to sell home when Texas floods engulfed them.